it is Erin or Gimme Yarn 418, and I am here with another video. So I mentioned in my last video that I was entering some things in the county fair, which I did. Ooh, my eye. I actually entered several things. There were a load of categories, I don't have the list here with me, that you could enter in, and you could enter in as many as you wanted, but one per item, so I decided to enter as many as I could. And I think there were 27 or 28 things I entered. So let me tell you a little bit about my trip to the fair, because it was my first time. I had no idea what I was doing. This is a 4-H fair in Cornish, New Hampshire, and they have it every year. And like I said, you can enter as many, in the fancy category, which is what knitting and crochet is, you could enter one thing per category in each class. I called ahead because I was under the notion that you had to pay, like the numbers next to it were to pay to enter that item, but that was actually prize money. You do not, at my fair anyway, you didn't have to pay to enter. So I gathered up my stuff, and this is all crossed out and stuff, but I put together a list of what I had in the classes they were in, and I'm really glad I did, because when you got there, you needed to know what you were entering everything in, and if you didn't know, they had to look it up, and it would have taken a lot longer than it did. I'll show you this. And when I got there, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go, so I asked, and they sent me to the correct table, and they were a little surprised by how many items I had, and I felt a little guilty. I felt a little guilty. I felt like maybe I had too much, but I decided to just let that go. I called ahead. I spoke to the coordinator for the fancy department, and she said I could enter as many things as I wanted. I asked if I needed to fill out any paperwork before I got there, and they said, no, there's a simple form you fill out when you get there. Well, this is what the form looks like. This is filled out. And you have to fill out, I had to anyway, fill out one of these for each category. This wasn't written on it, obviously, and the comments weren't written on it. So I had a lot of these to fill out. But thankfully I did have my list, so it made it a lot easier. So I dropped them off on Thursday night, and then Friday morning they had judging between 7 a.m. and 12 p.m., and then they opened the doors to the fair at 12 p.m. Well, not to the fair, to the judging area. Excuse me. So we could go in, and I had intended to go back on Sunday when I picked up my stuff to see if I had won anything, but I couldn't wait. So I couldn't wait till Sunday. I went to the fair. I paid $10 to get in, which seems like a lot of money for this smallish fair. But I actually didn't go into the fair. So I went on Friday. I was there at 12 to see what ribbons I had won, and I did much better in most places than I had thought. There was only one thing I was disappointed about. Very disappointed about. And I'll get into that. One thing did not place, and that was my Piper's Journey. If you remember it, this is it. And I 100% agree that it should not have placed. When I block my items, I leave a tail, and after I block them, I snip those tails after they've already been sewn in, obviously, so that if there's any shifting, I don't have to worry about it poking out on the wrong side. But I entered my Piper's Journey, and can you see? Let's see. I forgot to snip the tails. So this should not have won anything. I did get, the comment on it was that the ends were showing, but the work is good, so it was still a positive comment, and I was happy about that. My hand spun, I did enter a skein of hand spun yarn, and this got a second place ribbon, and I almost fell over. I I got one strange comment, and that was on the Rocky Coast cardigan. I entered. This is a seamless, I think it's a bottom down, I believe, sweater. And the comment on the sweater was soft, well done, seam is good, but a little chunky. So I don't really know what to think of that because there is no seam. And I got a second place ribbon on that, which I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. Most of my comments, I agree with almost all my comments, except for the seam one. The other thing is, like when I make shawls, when I make a sweater, until I've worn it a few times, I leave a tail. Let me see if I can find one. This is, if you remember, I haven't worn this yet, the Unity pullover that I made last fall-ish. I think it was the fall, maybe this. So I leave a tail, and I actually leave this in indefinitely because for me, it prevents the yarn from poking through and having stragglers, and I did get comments on that. The judges did not like that, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to change the way I do it. That's what works for me. It's on the inside of my sweater. No one except judges, if I put myself out there, are going to see it. And I also knew going into this that I was not going to have the same aesthetic as everybody. That brings me to the one thing that I was kind of, I'm not even going to say kind of, I was really disappointed about. And that was this sweater. I mean, this dress, the Clara dress you saw, I just recently finished it. I pushed to finish it so that I could enter it in the fair. And to date, this is the item I am most proud of finishing. And that has not changed. I am still most proud of finishing this. I think it's beautiful. I think it's stunning. And there was one other item against this sweater. And I'm not going to say what it was. I'm not going to insert a picture, although I did take a picture and ask a few people their opinions. But it was beat by this particular item. And of all the things I brought to the fair, I was certain that this one would win. And it didn't. It didn't lose. It came in second of two. It got nice comments, but it was beat by something that, let's just say I was surprised. I was very surprised. And I don't want to sound conceited or anything like that, but this dress to me is pretty impressive. I mean, it's a fingering weight dress, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So that did not place. It came in second. So do you want, then on Sunday we go to pick up your items, and they all have slips on them that you filled out, and there are comments on them that you can read and take home. And the first thing you do at this fair is you walk in and you go to the first table, and they have these vouchers that are for your prize money. So I did that. I'd never done that before. That was fun. Got a little bit of pocket money for the next time I go to Webb's. And then you pick up your stuff and it's over. And then you come home and you start working for next year. So all in all, I would say that my first fair was successful, and I'm pleased for 99.9% of it. And I will show you the ribbons that I won. I'll warn you, it's a little bit obnoxious, and I'm not going to feel guilty that I followed the rules, and that's what I did. So here are the ribbons. I think we counted 20, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 first place ribbons, and 8 second place ribbons. So I was hoping to win 1 first place ribbon on the Clara dress, and I came home with 15 and 8. So uber satisfied. Sorry, my allergies. I feel like this year my allergy season went from March 1st and it's going to end on probably December 1st when the first snowflake flies. Anyway, very happy, very pleased, and I would recommend that you try it. You need to go into it knowing that not everybody is going to have your same aesthetic, and you may be disappointed and you may be pleasantly surprised. And I didn't think I would go back next year, but as I was packing up my stuff, the ladies who were working my table said, I can't wait to see what you bring next year. So I think I will put myself out there again next year and bring some things. I don't know if I'll bring quite as many. I might. I'm going to see what I finish this year. So that's my fair experience. I'm going to post photos of my items with their ribbons so you can see what I entered after this video, and I hope you like what you see. I hope this encourages you to put yourself out there and see. You might be surprised what happens. Pleasantly surprised. I mean, I was glowing. I felt like I was 12. So I hope you're all doing well, and until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye.